All right, so we've all seen how powerful a single AI can be. You know, you ask it a question and boom, you get an answer in seconds. But what happens when you give it a really complex, messy, real-world problem? Well, it turns out that even the smartest AI can get totally overwhelmed. And the solution? It's not just about getting a bigger model, it's about building a smarter team.
So, let's start with a situation that feels, well, painfully real. This seems like a pretty straightforward request, doesn't it? But for a single AI, this is an absolute minefield. It's got to check flight schedules, seat availability, upgrade policies, maybe even look into hotels, all at the same time. That is a lot to juggle, and that's exactly where things can start to go wrong.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out. I mean, look at the difference. On the left, you've got the single agent. Sure, it's fast, 20 seconds, but the solution is awful. A 14-hour layover, and it totally missed that the seat upgrade wouldn't transfer. Now look at the multi-agent system on the right. Okay, yeah, it took longer, but check out what it delivered. 3 complete, thought-out plans that consider everything down to allergy checks and what to do if it rains. And yes, you're seeing that right, it even came up with a plan involving therapy ponies. You're just not going to get that level of creative, detailed problem-solving from one overworked model.
So what's really happening here? We're running into something called the single model bottleneck. It's kind of like asking one person to be a travel agent, a financial planner, and a creative director all at once. No matter how smart that person is, they're bound to drop the ball somewhere. So, what's the fix then? Well, instead of relying on one overwhelmed generalist, we build a team of specialists. And that's the whole idea here. We're going to unlock the AI team by spreading the work out to agents that are experts in their own little area. At its core, a multi-agent system isn't just about throwing more AI at something. Nope, it's a completely different way of thinking built on teamwork. You take a huge, messy problem, break it down into smaller, bite-sized jobs, and then you hand each one to an expert agent.
You know, the best way to get your head around this is to picture a busy restaurant kitchen. Just imagine the pure chaos if one person had to greet every guest, cook every single dish, mix all the drinks, and wash the dishes. It would be a complete and utter disaster.
And this is what's so cool. This analogy maps perfectly to AI systems. The single cook trying to do everything, that's your single agent model. It's slow, it makes mistakes, and the final product is meh. But the specialized kitchen team, that's your multi-agent system. Each chef is a pro. The prep cook preps, the line cook grills, orders just fly out, and the food is amazing. Specialization, it turns out, leads to quality and speed.
So this team approach gives you 3 massive advantages. First up, specialization. Each agent is a master of its one job. Second, you get parallel processing. They can all work at the same time, which is a huge speed boost. And third, you get validation. You can literally have one agent whose only job is to check the work of the others. It's like having quality control built right in.
Okay, but it's not a perfect fairy tale. Building an AI team comes with a really big challenge, one that people often forget about. The very teamwork that makes these systems so powerful can also be their greatest weakness. We're talking about the hidden cost of coordination.
Here's the catch. When you add more agents to your team, the amount of talking they have to do doesn't just go up, it explodes. It grows exponentially. Every agent might need to communicate with every other agent, and that complexity can spiral out of control fast. And this just shows you how crazy it gets. With 2 agents, you need 1 line of communication. Simple enough. 3 agents, you need 3. But just 4 agents, you're already dealing with 6 separate communication channels. Now try to imagine a team with, say, 20 agents. Yikes!
And this coordination cost is very real, and it shows up in a few nasty ways. You get fragmented memory, where one agent has no idea what another one just figured out. Their costs can balloon because every single message and verification step costs money. And then there are write conflicts. That's when 2 agents try to edit the same piece of information at the exact same time and end up creating total chaos. Now let's look at a really simple task, like a basic customer support ticket. You'd think a team would crush this, right? Well, look at the numbers. The multi-agent approach is almost twice as slow. And the cost? It's a staggering 8 times more expensive. Plus, look at the complexity. You just introduced 5 new ways the whole thing can break. For the simple stuff, the cost of teamwork can just be way too high. So this brings us to the big question. When is the power of an AI team actually worth all that extra cost and headache? Well, luckily, there's a pretty practical way to figure that out. Before you even start building a multi-agent system, you have to go through this checklist.
And be really honest with yourself. Could you solve this just by writing a better prompt? Are the tasks truly separate? Can you really afford a massive spike in your costs? Is it okay if the answer takes a few seconds instead of milliseconds? If you answer no to any of these, you might just be over-engineering a really expensive solution to a problem you don't actually have. And there is one final, really critical point to think about. The fancy, complex system you build today to get around an AI's limitations, it might be completely useless tomorrow, as the models themselves just get better and better. This quote from Hung-Wan Chung just nails the dilemma. The world of AI is moving so incredibly fast. What looks like a brilliant architectural choice today could just be a temporary patch tomorrow. You could spend months building this intricate system, only for a new model to come out that can do the whole thing in one shot.
So, it all comes down to asking yourself this one question. A multi-agent solution is an incredibly powerful tool for the right kind of problem. You know, the really complex ones that need specialized expertise. But it is not a silver bullet. You have to weigh all those amazing benefits against the very real costs of coordination and the risk that you're building something that won't even be needed in a year. So are you solving a real long-term problem, or are you just building an elaborate workaround for a model that's going to be obsolete tomorrow?